Go. Hello everyone and welcome to 5 on 20 Presents, a new version of the old news. My name is Richard DeGary.
And I'm Pedro Santa Cruz.
Today is Thursday, March 8th, 2018 AD, and why don't you take it away, Pedro?
Let's do it. A Southside Tucson Catholic church was vandalized last week. The business manager of the church, Karen Estavillo, said the Santa Cruz Catholic Church, no relation, had a crucifix, a statue, and a stained glass window destroyed. Church officials are hoping that the perpetrators of the crime return to the church for confession to be absolved of their sinful behavior.
In an effort to expand the Tucson Botanical Gardens, the nonprofit organization asked Fry's grocery store to donate property on the corner of Grant and Alverdon. Fry's refused to donate any of their property and suggested that the Botanical Gardens make an offer to purchase the property instead. Fry's did show some neighborly goodwill, however, when they offered some of their famous rotten produce for the Botanical Gardens to use for compost.
Righteous. Teachers throughout Arizona wore red yesterday to protest low teacher pay and poor teacher benefits in the hopes of making pay and benefits better for the struggling professionals. In an unrelated story, local Crip gang members lashed out at a rival blood gang members yesterday, saying that too many Bloods were trespassing into Crip territories.
And speaking of red, this is the last week that Tucsonans can visit red pandas at Reed Park Zoo. The two red pandas, Princess Lily and Latosi, were here for the last couple of months to escape cold weather of their home zoo in Utah. And as the red pandas leave town, Tucsonans can also expect the exit of another creature, the great white geezer, or as they're known scientifically, Traphicus sloicus.
Finally.
That's a snowbird joke.
Snowbird burn.
Snowburn.
Snowbird. The Academy Awards attracted the smallest recorded U.S. audience in history Sunday night. One man who refused to watch the awards said that if he wanted to see accused sexual predators, he'd watch the State of the Union. The Shape of Water won the Academy Award for Best Picture. In his acceptance speech, director Guillermo del Toro talked about his experiences as an immigrant, appearing to call out the Trump administration's immigration policies. In response, Trump tweeted about the show's low ratings and referred to himself as a star. The next day, he signed an executive order outlawing women-fish relationships, earning confused looks from Chief of Staff John Kelly, who, ironically, was once in a relationship with a largemouth bass.
I also didn't watch that show because I don't even know what that is.
Well, that joke really tipped the scales. British police say that a mentally ill Russian national convicted of being a spy was exposed to an unknown substance, causing him to pass out on a shopping center bench. Upon further investigation, it was revealed that the man simply ate a bit too much stargazy pie. Been there.
A quick word from our sponsors. This program is brought to you by Tetro's Tea Trays. Because where else are you going to keep your tea?
Good question. We ask the tough questions here.
United Airlines canceled a plan to replace employee bonuses with a $100,000 lottery prize after a backlash for its workforce. Workers rioted on a plane headed to Buffalo and began sticking the heads of the pilots on posts and forcing passengers to look at them. The incident didn't have anything to do with the bonuses. That's just how United Airlines usually rolls.
Pretty intense.
Intense stuff.
Italy's five-star rebels emerged as winners in Italy's latest parliamentary elections. The party is run by former comedian Beppe Grillo, proving that nothing wins a country over like a tight five. A day following Grillo's victory, it was announced that Artie Lange would be named the next U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services, Andy Dick, the next head of the DEA, and Russell Brand will lead Britain's National Embarrassment Division. Well, maybe you have a shot at politics, Rich.
Artie Lang as Department of Health that's funny.
It's because he's fat, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's also famously a alcoholic drug addict. I think he just went back to rehab also.
Well, there's hope for all of us then.
Pharma bro Martin Shkreli. Pharma bro Martin Shkreli,
Skrilla,
the former CEO of Turning Pharmaceuticals, was forced to pay back over $7 million for defrauding investors, along with a rare Wu-Tang Clan album. Responding to the case, the ghost of Old Dirty Bastards told Shkreli that he was a scumbag.
ODB, we hardly knew ye. This week, Utah state lawmakers approved a highway to be named after President Trump. Much like the president, the highway will shut down on the weekends and ruin anyone's faith in a properly functioning government.
A Tennessee high school took down a Confederate flag mural depicting a lynching of the walls of on its gymnasium. The school says that the painting was intended to depict an athletic team rivalry, which explains why the math team symbol is a picture of a Japanese soldier being stabbed with a bayonet.
Ouch. In an interview with CNN's Aaron Burnett, former Trump campaign aide Sam Nunberg gave his third erratic cable news interview of the day. Burnett asked him about his busy day and said that she smelled alcohol on his breath. The only surprising part of this story is that Nunberg didn't work out on the Trump campaign. Following the interview, White House officials say they're considering Nunn to replace security advisor H.R. McMaster, who will go on to fulfill his dream of being a hip-hop DJ.
Remember when you were a hip-hop DJ?
No. But there are pictures to prove it, unfortunately.
President Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, complained to friends that he wasn't reimbursed for payments to porn star Stormy Daniels, who claimed to have an affair with the president. Trump's claimed that he and Cohen switched off on paying the hush to their sex scandals and that it was Cohen's turn. Cohen, however, claims that he paid the time before that, when Trump accidentally trapped himself inside the vulva of Valerie Bertinelli.
It's a death trap in there.
I know.
Daniels is now suing Trump to get out of a non-disclosure agreement, which she alleges wasn't signed by Trump himself, but rather Michael Cohen. Ironically, this is the first time that Trump actually should have signed his name to something, and he failed. Trump says that if he had his tiny desk, then maybe he would have been more inclined to sign the agreement.
A Florida middle school teacher was fired after her school found out that she was the host of a white supremacist podcast called Unapologetic. School administrators confirmed that the story is the exact opposite of Dangerous Minds and that it would be adapted into a docudrama starring Diana Voltikich. Both recorded the podcast and ran a Twitter account that posted racist and anti-Semitic slurs under the alter ego of Tiana Dalichov, which seemed kind of like an obvious fake name. In one podcast, Dalichov talked about wanting to take influence from the left and said that she openly expressed her white supremacist views, though, to be fair, that's standard practice in Florida public school system.
I can tell you this, Pedro Santa Cruz is obviously against people using fake names. President Trump joked about the massive amount of resignations in the White House, asking who will leave next, Stephen Miller or Melania? For the first time since Trump was elected, Melania cracked a wistful smile. Meanwhile, according to inside sources, Stephen Miller has been telling Trump that Melania will never love him the way he does, and that the two should just run off to the coast, get hitched, and leave it all behind.
The French government proposed making 15 years old the age of consent for sex. France had not previously had an age of consent, but picked 15 because French teenagers are already able to drink, smoke, and sigh bitterly at the pointlessness of the world around them. Also this week, Woody Allen announces he will be filming the sequel to Midnight in Paris.
You know what I had for breakfast this morning?
I don't.
French toast. After a strike that kept students... Why are you laughing? Excuse me. After a strike that kept students out of school for over a week, Virginia teachers will be given a 5% raise after the state's legislature agreed to their demands. But at the last minute, the legislature reversed the decision and instead agreed to give each teacher 5 bottles of whiteboard cleaner and 85 tattered copies of Paul Zendel's The Pig Man. That's a classic.
Classic.
This program is also brought to you by Tetro's Tease Tapes, the only video series featuring light teasing and other street pranks, only available on VHS.
Rhode Island legislature has introduced a bill this week that would require residents to pay a one-time $20 fee to access pornographic sites or other offensive materials. Officials haven't yet decided on an amendment that would charge $40 for the really sick stuff. Users who want to look at porn would also be required to provide a written request to lift the ban while paying the fee. The office in charge of accepting the request letters are asking porn customers not to seal their letters with, quote, anything weird.
That's gross.
Oh.
The Trump administration quietly made the decision to allow elephant trophy imports from certain African countries. According to the White House, Trump felt that he was becoming too likable and wanted to give his image some edge. When asked why Trump is allowing imports from the same shithole countries he criticized months ago, Trump responded, "Well, it's different when they're dead, right?"
In November, Trump put on hold a plan to lift the ban, calling the practice of trophy hunting a, quote, horror show. However, Trump changed his mind when he spotted a baby elephant wearing an I'm with her t-shirt and a Nat Geo documentary during his 2-burger nightcap.
Well, you never know what you'll see on those late night television shows. Nevada officials are notifying 18 states about a breakout of Arizona equine herpes after a quarter horse gelding was infected with the disease. A Nevada rancher said that it's not surprising since quarter horse geldings tend to have that girls just want to have fun attitude. Talk about geldings gone wild.
Oh, man. Arizona officials have been trying to determine the cause of bad smells wafting from the West Valley located outside of Phoenix. Officials say that the smell might be caused by a gas leak, industrial chemicals, or Terry.
Speaking of gas leak, in a press conference this week, President Trump denied that the White House is chaotic and said that everybody wants to work with him after dozens of staffers resigned in recent weeks. Trump then named his replacement for communication director, Hope Hicks. The new director is, you guessed it, Terry.
Hey, speaking of press leaks.
I don't get it.
Now we're going to turn it over to our new producer, Brenden Tetro, maker of our fine products such as Tetro tea trays, Tetro lease tapes, and Tetro tea tree oil. Of course, Tetro's tantalizing tattoos. Welcome, Mr. Tetro.
Well, that's some confidence for you.
Can you?
Oh, yeah. Here.
Richie, right? No, Tim?
Rich.
Tom.
Rich.
Yeah.
This is Tom right here.
Richie. No.
My name's Pedro.
It's Pedro.
Okay, Pedro?
Pedro, nice to meet you.
Right.
Welcome to the news studio.
Yes, okay.
Rich.
I'm the big star here,
Tim.
in case you're wondering.
Rich. Got it. All right, thanks, guys. Hello, my name is Brenden Tetro, and I'm the new director here at 5120's Alternative Programming Division. You might be asking, what am I watching right now? Admittedly, I probably should have told you what you were watching at the beginning of the show, but canceling a tanning session on the same day costs an extra $15, so here I am. Let me tell you a bit about myself and how I came to be commanding one of the most popular media platforms in the country. I earned a rather large sum of money after my father fell off the top floor of our family home. That was 3 years ago to the day, and I have to say now, I'm bored. I figured I could use my money to make an impact on the world while making myself filthy, disgustingly rich. If we could take anything from the possible Russian interference in the 2016 election, it's that fake news works really well. People love the stuff, so I figured, I bet I can make a lot of money from selling fake news. And there you have it, the show you're watching right now. An inspiring story, I know. See, I want to be rich. like my pet leopard bit half my face off, Rich, if you know what I mean. And you might say, well, why would you tell us that your show is fake news? Good question. Maybe it isn't fake. Maybe it's based on an intern scanning headlines and just kind of filling in the blanks. Do you think the anchors know if it's real? Do you guys know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. These are questions we shouldn't ask because it doesn't matter. In fact, nothing matters. So I say, if we're going to give you the fake news, let's give them the best damn fake news we can give them. That's why we're now calling the show Fake News Now? Is that too on the nose? It's too on the nose, right?
A little.
It's a little obvious.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, so we'll call it News.
Forget it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out next week. All right, so what do you say, boys? Are we going to deliver the most exciting, the most newsy, the most lucrative news show we can? What do you say?
Yeah! We're going to do it.
Great.
Woohoo!
Now, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, so did you throw your father off the roof?
Do you have any other questions for me? Great.
That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, great. All right. Well, get back to work. Just kidding. Get back to work.
I guess he's not going to answer that question.
Interesting. Well, there you have it, folks. The boss.
That was rough.
Because you had to stand for a minute?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Daddy's tired. Former NFL quarterback Peyton Manning is selling 31 of his Denver area Papa John's franchises he purchased in 2012. Asked why he was selling his steak, Manning said that he finally got around to trying Papa John's pizza. He has reportedly signed a 5-year contract with Pizza Hut, but will miss the entire season with a foot injury.
It's because of all that Budweiser. You might remember the Fry Festival, co-organized by Ja Rule last year. It's the one that descended into chaos after a hurricane ripped through the small island where the event was supposed to take place. Well, Fry Festival promoter Billy McFarland pleaded guilty this week to defrauding investors in connection with the Fry Festival. McFarland faces prison time along with multiple civil suits. Meanwhile, Ja Rule is appearing at this year's Pima County Fair with his opening act, The Hurricane.
Cool. Have you listened to The Hurricane?
No, I don't even get that.
One of my favorite songs by his is called The Rain. It's good.
Interesting.
Snowstorms. Clean it up, Timmy. Snowstorms pounded the Northeast twice this week, causing dangerous conditions, power outages, and causing over 2,600 flights to be canceled. Sure, the East Coast may have New York City, Harvard University, and the gorgeous Maine coast, but Tucsonans get to wear shorts in the winter and only have to use a shovel to bury grandma in the backyard. Enjoy the rest of the winter, Tucson, because it sucks everywhere else right now. And rest in peace, Grandma Doris.
We miss you. This has been 5 on 20. Fake News Now?
Fake news now.
Whatever it's called. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You get in touch with us at creativetucson.org. Stay creative, Tucson.